Controversial opinion incoming. I don't like Minecraft PvP, despite once being very good at it back in the day. There. I said it. Cancel me, or something, I don't know. In this video I'm gonna be talking a whole lot about PvP in Minecraft, and how I've moved on from it. And I think it's kind of surprising too, because I was once very, very good at it. A long time ago, like almost a full decade ago actually. I think it's been 8 years now, that's crazy. Since I first accessed multiplayer in Minecraft. It was a very long time ago, and it was at the time where Minecraft Bedrock was starting to be pushed a lot more by Microsoft with Windows 10 and everything. And since instead of having to manually enter server IP addresses in Bedrock Edition, there's instead the Features Servers section. That's basically my gateway into the realm of Minecraft PvP. A long time ago, and very few might recognize this name, there was once a server called InPvP in there. Now it's called Mineville, I believe. But way back in the day, that's what I played a lot. It was a pretty basic server. It had some pretty basic mini games on it. It had some PvP stuff, if you couldn't already tell by the name. One of which was Solo Sky Wars, which I played a lot when I first started. I wasn't very good at it. I think I got killed like several times actually. But then I started to get better as I got into things like Team Flag Wars. And just a little side note here that I forgot to include in the second Flag Wars, like in Roblox video I made. Playing Flag Wars in Roblox really reminded me of this game. I just really wanted to include that little bit in here because it's a red versus blue game, but instead of fighting each other with guns, you fight each other with swords. And it was pretty fun too. It's when I really began to figure out how to mash my mouse a ton, because that was the most effective tactic in that game at the time. It probably still is right now, but we'll talk about modern Minecraft PvP later, okay? Have some patience. Basically, there are 3 swords in this game. A stone sword, a wooden sword, and an iron sword. And there wasn't really much of a difference between these 3, at least compared to like what I've seen in other games. There were multiple times where I was able to kill people who had an iron sword with my wooden sword, which a wooden sword is what you'd start with in this game when you spawned in. You could buy the stone sword and the iron sword from the shop, and I remember having to stand in the generators, which would generate iron, gold, and diamonds, which you could use in the shop to purchase items, as well as the other weapons. I can't remember the specifics of the items in there. It was really the swords I paid attention to. So, I killed a lot of people there. And there were only 2 maps, so it's not hard for me to remember, like, things that have happened. There was one map that was like a castle, and then there's this other map that was a space station. It was pretty fun. But this is where I really, like, started to get good at the stuff, really. I still did a little bit of Solo Sky Wars, Team Sky Wars, and Money Wars, which is similar to Sky Wars. And this is pretty much what I did on the InPvP server. And I really stuck to the InPvP server a lot, because it was like the least laggy out of all the other servers. I tried playing Cake Wars a couple times on Mineplex, and this is Bedrock Mineplex, by the way. But my ping was trash. Like, I couldn't do anything in this game at all. It sucked. So I didn't even try. Like, I didn't do much in there. But on InPvP, I was crazy. Like, you'd think I had never went outside all those years ago. The next notable event is when the Hive got introduced to the featured servers list right there. And people started just flocking to it. I remember it having like over 10,000 people online at the same time in that list. And it sort of drained the other servers out, especially in PvP, and that's kind of why I stopped playing the games on there. Because nobody else was playing, so therefore there's really no one to PvP at all. And I imagine there's probably basically no one there right now, if it even still exists. I wouldn't be surprised if it's been phased out. But those were some great times I've had on InPvP. And it's hard to believe that they were like such a long time ago too. But on the Hive, I got like even better. Specifically with Treasure Wars, which is basically Bed Wars but with a treasure chest. And for those of you who don't know, Bed Wars is basically a game where your goal is to protect a bed using blocks. If the bed is broken by another team, you lose your ability to respawn. It's pretty fun, and it's been ripped off and put on Roblox. I even made a video a very, very long time ago. I think it's lost media now. I can't seem to find it anywhere. A while back, I uploaded a video to my second channel of a whole compilation of old videos I recorded a long time ago, most of which did not have any commentary whatsoever, and they were just sitting on my Google Drive taking up space. So I thought I'd upload them all here to YouTube, just to clear up that space really, and just why not share it with the public too. But I am 99% sure it is not in that little bunch of videos, and I'll have to go back when I go in and edit this and check one more time just to make sure, but I most definitely couldn't find it in my Google Drive. But I basically made a video explaining how to win every single game of Treasure Wars, the whole technique I used. I really wish I could find that video again, because not gonna lie, I could actually like use that and follow along, and I bet you it would still work. But in a nutshell, what I did, the gist of what I did at least, is I tried to get the most powerful armor from the shop, which I believe was diamond, using emeralds at the center. So I just rushed into the center of the map there. Basically killed anyone who even strayed close to me, using the same techniques I had learned on in PvP, and it was a breeze. I was cranking wins a lot, and I really wish I had video footage to prove that right now, but this is all you're getting. This is a commentary video on my channel, okay? If it has commentary at the end of the title, this is what you sign up for, okay? It's your fault. You clicked on this video. Come on now. Why would you do that? And those were some fun times until they weren't, because then people started getting good out of the blue, and I kind of got demotivated. And about at the same time, I had started playing Mad City in Roblox, which was basically a better form of PvP for me. It's gunfighting, and that's kind of what I'm into right now. But even that, like, Roblox might be phasing out right now as we speak, so we might be switching PvP eras again, which is why I'm sort of making this video. But yeah, people just really started getting good at PvP in Minecraft all of a sudden. I wasn't really sure what was up, quite frankly. Whenever I'd run up to someone, they'd just walk right onto me as if they had range hacks or something and just started wailing on me the exact same way I had wailed on all the other people I had defeated. So maybe it was just karma, to be honest. It probably was. I mean, it serves me right for being an absolute maniac at it, but I'm not saying it didn't demotivate me. It most definitely did, for the reasons I just described. And that really just led me into the Roblox era of PvP, and from that, gunfighting and everything. And I learned how fun that is, because quite frankly, sword fighting in Roblox isn't very fun, at least in a standard game, really. Like, you have the classic Roblox sword, other person goes down in like 2 seconds. It's not very fun. Not as fun as Minecraft was, but gunfighting, okay? Specifically, Mad City gunfighting, shotgun PvP, that was very interesting to me. And Roblox was new to me, too. So I sort of just moved on from that, really. Because Minecraft PvP was literally just limited to swords and close-range stuff. There wasn't a whole lot you could do with a bow or anything, because bows aren't like guns in Roblox, so I just sort of moved on and everything, and that really brings us to today, I guess. Anyways, in more recent times, I've taken a look at the vanilla PvP community, which the most effective tactic available there is to spam end crystals, which requires a lot of precision, let me tell you. Precision I do not have, even with just sword PvP these days. Overall, it takes a lot of skill, too, outside of that precision. It's a very unique form of PvP, but I still think gunfighting in Roblox is far more interesting than that. I just really can't see myself doing any of that right there. And I just generally think there's a lot more that interests me in Minecraft these days. More predominantly, like, earlier this year, I've been churning out some OP Realm episodes. Update on that, by the way. I don't know when the next episode is going to come out on that. Could be a month from now. Could be like a full year from now. I really don't know. It's very uncertain because I really have been working on this episode for a long time. But I really think I just want to redo it because I've changed some things about the way I make videos and stuff. Just some small tidbits here and there. I just kind of like to maintain consistency throughout the whole thing and everything. But basically, the point being that I've experimented with survival with cheats and everything, like technical Minecraft. I've talked a little bit about that in other videos as well. for years now. It's mind-boggling. I remember mentioning in a video where I announced a break I was taking. In that video, I mentioned I was working on data packs. That's been something that's still been interesting to me. But lately, I've also been playing a lot of modern Minecraft survival and stuff, just like raw survival in 1.21.4. Hopefully soon to be 1.21.5, but as I've stated previously in other videos, I don't know when that'll be, just because of mod compatibility and everything. But overall, I think that really distracted me from PvP in Minecraft in general. That and Roblox, too. And other games. Now, another subject I wanted to talk about, just briefly, this caught my eye a little bit. It was a little bit interesting to me. And that is that people make frickin' texture packs for PvP. I'm not kidding around here. There are a lot of things that are changed in these texture packs, not necessarily like the aesthetic of the game, but they literally make the game more practical for PvP. For example, a lot of these texture packs reduce the size of the fire texture, which if you don't know, if you catch on fire in Minecraft, the fire texture goes onto your screen and it blocks out a pretty big chunk of it, so you can't see. But basically what these texture packs do is they greatly reduce that, if not completely eliminate that. And it's pretty interesting to me that people actually go out of their way to do that, because like I kind of think that's cheating, not gonna lie, because like you're changing something about the game, because like the fire, that's intended to block part of your view, because like you're on fire. And if you just remove that, like, is that cheating? Personally, I kind of think that is a little bit, but I might get flamed in the comments for even mentioning that, like anything other than turning every single texture invisible in Minecraft, like literal X-ray, is cheating. But I just found that very interesting. I saw it in a recent video I watched, and I thought it would be something that I'd want to touch upon, because there are entire Discord servers dedicated to this. A little while back, I joined a couple Discord servers thinking that they were like distributing like, you know, your standard Minecraft texture packs, you know, the ones that change the way Minecraft looks. And I'm not saying these packs change the way Minecraft looks. In fact, they do change the way Minecraft looks. But what I'm trying to get across here is that they sometimes change if Minecraft looks at all. But yeah, it's just basically a Discord server, multiple Discord servers in fact, filled with PvPers trying to get their hands on texture packs. And I really just don't understand it, so feel free to go join my Discord, link in description by the way. If you want to go chat there about Minecraft PvP and maybe get me a little bit out from underneath the rock I'm under in this little Minecraft community, feel free to join. This really led me to want to create a video like this. I've known these packs exist for a little while now. It's just mind-boggling to me, because that is pretty clever, not gonna lie. How you use the game's files to your advantage, too. But I just kind of think it's clever to the point where, like, is that an unfair advantage? But anyways, I've been rambling on a little bit about this for a little bit more than I've wished. But the competition in the PvP community in Minecraft is sky high. More than I could have ever comprehended way back in the day. And that's kind of why I decided to step out. Because I just figured I'd be able to compete in other things. I kind of just didn't want to strain myself in this community. And I kind of just wanted to move on. Although it is mildly tempting right now, not gonna lie. Like, after talking about all this for so long, to go back, just for like a day or something, just play a couple games, but I'm not really so sure about that. How's it going? Editing me here. Well, something I like to add is that Crystal PvP is not the only form of PvP in Minecraft. There are other forms of PvP in Minecraft too, such as duels on servers like Hypixel and stuff. It involves a lot of different things like block placement, using your fishing rod of all things to drag your opponent forward. It's a very goofy thing, and really why I'm not attracted to that anymore is because it really just doesn't make any sense to me. But then again, this is a game where you can suspend blocks in air. So maybe I'm just heavily biased or something. These fights also involve everyone who's fighting in them to have fully enchanted diamond armor, which takes forever to kill people with that. So basically everyone's super powerful, especially in defense. It just takes forever, and when you combine that with just melee combat and the fishing rods and the everything, the block placement, and even the potions too, which can restore your health like instantly. So basically, if I hit someone for like several minutes here, like I'm going at them and I've almost got them down to like half a heart and everything, and then they use a potion that restores half their health, that's basically several minutes of hard work completely down the gutter, which sucks. And I don't see that in other games, at least not as much. but it's really extreme in Minecraft PvP. Everyone is super powerful, and as a result, fights take forever. I've seen clips where the opponent doesn't even fight back and is fully decked out in this armor, and it still takes like a full minute for them to die with a diamond sword that's also fully enchanted. It is just boring to me. Maybe I have a terrible attention span. Anyways, the next thing, and hopefully the last thing I'm gonna talk about in this video, it's been like all over the place, is going to be another possible evolution we might have in PvP, or me, really. Lately, I've kind of been straying away from Roblox PvP. I know there was a massive chunk of people who probably came to this channel via the video I made about Mad City Chapter 1 returning, and probably think I'm going to play that game regularly. And the answer to that question is probably not. Not because of the game itself, but because of PvP, and how I'm straying away from that. Roblox's PvP isn't perfect either, but I would say it's miles better than Minecraft's. But I have found PvP to be even better in other games. A little while ago I was talking about a little losing streak, a massive set of L's I've taken in Splatoon 2. Which, by the way, looking back on that, saying that I was grieving sounds like I was like depressed or something. I promise you, I am not depressed. But those losses got me thinking about the playing field that game really is, and other games on Nintendo Switch too. Basically, if you don't know, Nintendo makes games that are exclusive to whatever console they have. So, you won't find a Nintendo Switch game, at least not one that's made by Nintendo, anywhere else but Nintendo Switch. That's why you can't play Mario Kart 8, at least not legally, on something like the PS5. Anyways, what I'm really trying to say here is that this is the most level playing field possible because everyone is playing on the same device and therefore everyone has the same capabilities. One thing I've definitely noticed when playing Minecraft and Roblox, which are cross-platform games, is that they're both generally best on PC. And that's because on mobile, more so with the handling, it gets very uncomfortable compared to a keyboard and a mouse too. And those are very efficient methods of controlling yourself. You can get some very precise aim in gun games. I know I've sniped a couple people using my gaming mouse in Roblox with guns that really shouldn't be used as snipers, but I've just turned them into them. And I feel like that's only possible just because of how precise you can aim with a mouse, if you know how to do it very correctly. Whereas with something like a touchscreen or a controller, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever codes has been written to work with that, really. A big problem I've had with a controller and the Joy-Cons on Nintendo Switch is that I can't move the camera around fast enough. And on games like Roblox, an issue like that isn't affecting everyone because there are some people who are on PC and as a result they have an advantage. But since Splatoon 2 can only legally be played on a Nintendo Switch, everybody has that problem, and therefore it's a level playing field. And that really makes me feel like the loss is my fault. Whereas with Roblox in the past, the loss is typically because of lag and stuff, or the fact that one person is playing on PC while someone else is playing on mobile and can't really do anything. And before you start flaming me in the comments, probably for like the 5th time this video, I would just like to say that lag has been a real problem for me in the past. It's not as much of a problem now that I've got a better PC that's miles better than my old one. But I have had problems in Mad City where my frame rate has just completely tanked. And as a result, the game becomes super unplayable. So yeah, lag problems are real, okay? I am a strong believer in that. You're gonna see me out on the streets petitioning the government, okay? But with Splatoon, it's a level playing field. And I know that there are things like the Pro controllers that a lot of people use. I'm actually one of the few people who uses the Joy-Con grip sort of to replicate that, and I haven't had a whole lot of problems with it. I have managed to come in first in Mario Kart online with that, and I haven't tried the Pro controller, so I can't really talk about that very much. But it very much feels like a normal controller to me, which is honestly surprising given the shape of this thing when you put both Joy-Cons in. Anyways, talking a little bit more about Roblox. Roblox's PvP is often very unfair. Not so much in reasons I talked about earlier with like PC and mobile as much sometimes. Of course, that is definitely still an issue. But I've had problems with players who just become so stacked, they are just unstoppable. And I've been one of those players too. Roblox games are very unbalanced, and since they're not made by like huge game studios like Nintendo, like professional game designers and everything, I'm not saying like Roblox developers aren't professional. There are absolutely amazing games that have been made on this platform. A great example of this, as I've talked about in the past, is Flag Wars. I think that game, while it does have some issues with the gameplay, which are being fixed right now as we speak, which is amazing, that game looks amazing. For something that was uploaded to a platform where the average age is 12, let me tell you that. But even if you're on Roblox, it's not always a very level playing field. And I've really just recently come to learn that, which is kind of why I've shifted gears and been starting to move more towards Nintendo in terms of PvP. I never honestly thought I'd do that, but here we are now. I don't really know what the future's gonna hold for me, but I kind of just wanted to talk about this for a little bit. Like every commentary video I upload to this channel, this does contain a whole lot of opinions that I'm probably gonna get flamed for in the comments down below, so yeah, if you enjoyed what you heard, do me a favor and leave me a like or something. I don't know. But, yeah, that's all I really gotta say. See you later.